Hi, community. Laquana here, and I'm back for another wellness tip of the week. I've been doing some side projects centered around accountability, restorative justice, and conflict resolution. And while I've been doing my research and preparing presentations and content around these topics, I've really been thinking a lot this week about self advocacy. Speaking up for yourself, advocating for yourself can sometimes feel really, really hard, specifically when there's been different power dynamics created in different relationships. We think about sometimes speaking up with our family or advocating for ourselves in our family relationships where maybe there's been a culture of silence for a very long time where you felt your voice didn't have much value in those spaces, and so you got used to not speaking up, right? Or maybe in relationships where you feel like people are judging you, so you keep your truth inside out of fear that people won't understand you. Well, I want to be able to give you a couple tips so that you can become a better advocate for yourself. Number one, the goal is to be 100% devoted to listening, really listening to both sides of the story, right? We're seeking to understand. So, identify the problem, get to the root of what the problem is, right? And then listen. I want both sides to be listening to each other. And if you're not quite ready to be in the room with the person that you might need to be a strong advocate for yourself for, maybe you practice by just having an empty chair in the room, or you write a letter, or you write your thoughts out on paper first. But first, I want you to really listen to yourself and really listen to what your wants and needs are. And when you get in the room with the person you may need to be advocating with, you need to listen to them as well. It's about being 100% devoted to being an active listener and also identifying and getting to the root of the problem. Number three, be direct as you can. No running. Once you are in the space of trying to repair and restore a relationship, we should stay in the present and not avoid. Let's not run away from the problem, but let's talk about what is happening in the here and now and how can we find some resolve for it? How can we restore the relationship so that we can move forward? Stay on subject, right? Don't avoid. Also, don't drag up the past. Sometimes when we're working on advocating for ourselves and maybe we're feeling more confident because we're in the space of advocacy, we may start to bring up past issues where you might have not advocated for yourself. And the goal is to be in the here and now. So try your best not to do that. We also don't want to assign blame, right? We're all living and learning on this journey in life. And so we're seeking to understand. We're not going to place blame on each other, but we're here to problem solve. Don't try to win. With that being said, don't try to win. No one wins when a relationship that can be resolved and can be repaired falls apart just because people don't know how to communicate. Nobody wins in that case. The goal is to understand each other and to find out workable solutions, to find out alternatives to how you can coexist with one another or not. And next, make I statements. Let people know I feel lonely when you do this. I feel distance in our relationship when you do this, right? I don't feel like we can be on one accord when this happens, right? And so using I statements doesn't create a space of blame, right? But it creates a space of accountability with your own feelings. Next, don't assume. Ask questions. Let people know, what did you mean when you said this? What did you mean when you did this, right? And I think asking also really keys into seeking to understand, which is what we are here to do. I think the other important thing is don't speak to others about things that have absolutely nothing to do with them. Speak to the source. Bring your problems directly to the source because they're not going to be able to tell you how the source feels about something or how the person that you have the conflict with feels. You have to go directly to that person. That oftentimes can create dynamics that you can't really come back from. And lastly, don't make threats. It's not about winning. It's not about whose fault it is. It's not about punishment. It's not about creating consequences, but it's about restoration. How can we move forward? How can we realize where we were all had some place in it? How can we all take responsibility? How can we know the difference between being punitive in a relationship and being restorative? And how can we move forward in a way that everybody feels supported and everybody feels heard and everybody feels safe and everybody feels nurtured? And if we can't do that, then that might not be the relationship for us. And we have to be able to own up to that in the end. But not before we go through some progress and some steps, right? The process and steps. So I hope that was helpful. Please like, comment, share this video. If you want to know more, I'm also interested from you all. If you had to do this lately, just be a better self advocate for yourself in friendships, in work relationships, whomever, with whomever. I want to know if you've had to follow any of these steps or if you would add any steps to the process. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I will see you next week for another wellness tip. Have a beautiful week. Take care of yourself and advocate for yourself. All right, take care. Bye.